one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story comes to us from NBC7 San Diego. A Navy police officer is charged with murder in the death of La Mesa police officer Lauren Craven, who was killed in a wreck on Interstate 8. Prosecutors in downtown San Diego courtroom on Thursday, October 30th, alleged 38-year-old Antonio Alcantar was under the influence when he struck Craven on the freeway on October 20th. Craven was killed that night along with the driver of a car she stopped to help, 19-year-old Devontae Morris. At this point, Alcantar only faces charges in connection to Craven's death since the investigation into Morris's death is still underway. Deputy District Attorney Spencer Sharp told the court last Thursday, where there was a huge law enforcement presence, how Craven stopped to help Morris after he collided with another car. Sharp said Craven saw the occupants from the other vehicle in the roadway and went and moved them to the median. He said, she literally saves their lives by inches and seconds, said Sharp. As Craven returned to Morris, who was also in the roadway, Alcantar was approaching in his car at freeway speed, which is like 55, 65. Sharp said Alcantar had been drinking at a Normal Heights bar, then walked to his friend's home before ultimately getting behind the wheel. In court, it was reported that Craven's body camera and a camera from a Tesla behind Alcantar's vehicle recorded video showing his overhead lights on and motorists clearing out of the way of the accident. Sharp said that Alcantar only hit the brakes after his car struck Craven. He doesn't brake. He doesn't stop. He doesn't change lanes. He doesn't turn on his blinker. He makes no attempts at all, said Sharp. Now, after the accident, the deputy district attorney says Alcantar's blood alcohol concentration measured twice the legal limit, which is 0.08. Alcantar's defense attorney, Dan Green, told NBC7 his client takes ownership of this intoxication, but what happened was an accident. He was drunk. This is not a person who would ever go out and intentionally harm somebody, said Green. This is not a person that went out and targeted police officers or thought that he was going to hurt a police officer or anyone. I'm going to get back to that. Alcantar, who was out on bail, was ultimately taken into custody. His bail now set at $1 million, and as of last check, remained behind bars pending a readiness hearing in December. They said, we have a military police officer, master at arms now, who is charged with murder. In 2025, there is no excuse for drinking and driving like this. That was Sharp. Alcantar faces one count of murder, which can carry a sentence of life in prison, as well as one count of gross vehicular manslaughter with bodily harm. And if they get him for Morris, who was also killed in that crash, that's 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. For a guy who should have known. But what gets me is his defense attorney. He didn't go out targeting police. He didn't mean to hurt anybody. It was just an accident. No, it wasn't an accident. And I'll tell you why. The minute he got behind that vehicle after drinking alcohol, so much that he was twice 0.08, which would be at least what? 0.16 or higher. He was drunk. Drunk. Once he did that and got behind that wheel, went, or is it this now? Because my car is. The minute he did that, everything else was on purpose. He purposed it. Purposed it. You know, the defense attorney, he didn't want to hurt anybody. He's an angel. No, he's alleged to be a drunk driver who killed someone. I was going to say at least 2 people, but We don't know about Morris yet. Although, come on, he was in, if Morris died too, then killed two people because he didn't want to take a Lyft or an Uber or phone a friend. And now two people have lost their lives. So when I'm out there recording DUI stops and I'm recording someone who's suspected of DUI and getting arrested, and people say, don't you think that person deserves privacy? You're catching them in their most, lack of a better word, their most, intimate moment. This person, and you're out there just shaming them. They deserve privacy at that moment. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because if you're being arrested for DUI, you deserve nothing. Nothing. Because you've taken other people's lives, put them in your hands, and grabbed the steering wheel of those lives. You deserve nothing. Well, you do deserve something. I step back. I'm sorry. I misspoke. You do deserve something. You deserve a jail cell. Let me know what you all think about that.